What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
UFC 231 happened yesterday, a fight that headlined by Max Holloway and Brian Ortega, co-headlined by Valentina Shevchenko versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Featherweight belt for the men and flyweight belt for the women. It's been a long time coming for both Max and Valentina. Valentina's been trying to fight for the belt in the new flyweight division for a while now. There's been so many times she's been pulled, like, it just hasn't happened. He hasn't had the opportunity. She's supposed to fight Nico, then Nico pulled out, then she was supposed to fight somebody else. It's just been like a nonstop rotation of potential fighters for Valentina to face, and it was almost an inevitable win for her. I didn't see Joanna winning. They'd fought in kickboxing before twice. Shevchenko won both. Joanna's the smaller of the two fighters. She was coming up from a weight class while Valentina's going down from bantamweight. And it was just, I mean, unless the only thing that I could have thought, and it was a close fight. So, I mean, it went to a decision. Back and forth. Valentina, for sure, the stronger fighter, better ground game, was able to, I think she got 10 takedowns during the fight. And just put it together. The only thing that I could have thought of where Joanna might win, because Joanna's definitely dangerous, but if Valentina came into it because of all the issues, like maybe she could have come in overtrained, she could have come in looking past Joanna since she's already beaten her. There's a lot of things where she could have been her own worst enemy in this fight, and she wasn't, and she ended up winning it. Max Holloway versus Brian Ortega was supposed to happen a few times. Max has had health issues, concussion issues. So leading up to this fight, I was very concerned going into it. I wanted Max to win, although I do love Brian Ortega as well. He's been an exciting fighter to watch come up through the featherweight ranks. Be interesting to see who he faces next. But it was a clear and dominant win for Max. Max has looked better and better in every fight. Just adding distance between him and anybody else that even challenges him as far as skill and technique. Great footwork. Every time Brian Ortega was trying to throw shots, fucking Holloway was, 3 steps away from him. It was just landing hard combos. Max is just, in the third round, he came out and just was like, or maybe it was the fourth round, he came out and it was just like nonstop pressure. He was going in there to break Ortega after having a great first 3 rounds. It was just a great fight from Max. He looked great. It was a great fight, but Ortega never really looked to have the upper hand. He was never able to get, I don't think there were any takedowns. I mean, he's definitely the best on his back, but, Holloway, great on his feet, and Holloway is super hard to take him down. I would love to see Holloway versus Khabib at 155. I would love it. That's a great matchup. I would love to see Holloway face Conor again. I would love to see him, stay at featherweight, go up to lightweight. I don't care. He's my favorite fighter. He's got the right mentality too. There's so many fighters like a Tyron Woodley where they get the belt and all they want to do is have super fights. Like they think they think that like they win the belt. Now it's like, oh, it's my legacy. It's like you understand you're competing with GSP for legacy at that weight class. Okay? And GSP worked his ass off and was never spoke of his legacy, just won and won dominantly. Max Holloway, when he got the belt, he's like, this is my kingdom. I am the king. Anybody who wants to challenge me for this belt, come and get it. And I love that. I love that mentality. And it's awesome to see him not only maintain the belt, but also do it in more dominant fashion every time. Like the competition gets tougher. I think Ortega could have potentially been one of his toughest competitors, but ended up being one of, a pretty not easy fight. It did go 4 rounds. It got stopped. I think it got stopped at the end of the 4th by the doctor. But yeah, Max Holloway, great fight. Gunnar Nelson got a win over Oliveira. I thought Oliveira would win it, but Nelson looked great. He's able to. He definitely took some damage, but once he split Oliveira up and got that rear naked choke, it was donezo. I mean, once it got to the ground, it was pretty much donezo. The Dawodu fight was okay, nothing really spectacular. Thiago Santos versus Jimmy Manuwa, woo-wee! That was painful to watch. Those guys were throwing. It was devastating. And Santos looked great. I'm glad he's at light heavyweight. He body wise, he's the right size for the weight. I mean, he's still big. Standing next to Manu, they looked the same size. And Manu was not a small dude. Nina Ansaroff beat Claudia Gadelha in a unanimous decision. I thought it was a pretty close fight. I thought Ansaroff definitely did win it. She was able to keep her on the jab and just kind of control the stand-up a lot more. Obama Mercier lost, kind of an up and down. Jessica Ai versus Caitlin Kuchagian was a pretty good fight. Lice Theodoro I became a huge Theodoro fan at this fight. One, it was a great fight, back and forth. Last round, Anders it was his fight to win, and he took off too much, and Theodoro was able to, put on a better pace in the third round. But after he was done, during his post-fight in-ring talk with Rogan, was a huge advocate for changing the perception and stigma for medical cannabis. I was a huge fan of that. So I'm a huge fan of Theodoro now. Win, lose, or draw. Maybe not the most exciting fighter to watch, but I enjoy his position. So overall, good fights for 231. I was very happy watching them. Next Saturday, there are some, on my birthday actually, there's some more fights. It's going to be Milwaukee Fight Night. Kevin Lee versus Al Iaquinta. I'm going Iaquinta. It could easily go Kevin Lee. I just like Al Iaquinta more. Again, Kevin Lee kind of has like a showboaty kind of he's trying to be fashionable. He's trying to have good word, like spit game. I think it's fake. I don't really buy it. Some people do. He's good. I have respect for the guy for sure. I just think as far as the shtick that he's trying to do to help sell his fights, I'm not buying it. I'm not enjoying it. Where Al is just a real ass dude, it seems like. Went 5 rounds with Nurmagomedov, short notice fight. So I got Iaquinta. I think that I want him to win. I don't know if he'll win. I think it's going to be a close fight. He's already beaten him. So I think Al Iaquinta might get it again. Barboza versus Dan Hooker. I'll go Barboza on this one. Rob Font versus Sergio Pettis at bantamweight. I'm going Sergio Pettis. I think he's come up. I think he'll look good. It would be an interesting test about Rob Font. Rob Font's no joke. Jim Miller versus Charles Oliveira. Man, I want Jim Miller to win. Charles has had a rough go, some wins, some losses. Same thing with Jim, but Jim looked great in his last fight, so I'm going Jim Miller on that. And those are the UFC Fight Night Milwaukee coming up December 15th, the birthday of me. Next week, looking forward to it. I will be watching and enjoying, and I may not remember when I recap the next day. But some good fights overall. That's it for this episode. New episodes of this show come out every day. Subscribe to this show everywhere podcasts are found. Video, audio, doesn't matter. It's everywhere. Binge the full week in advance over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Members get that benefit along with many others. Go to inspireddisorder.com for all of my artwork and t-shirts. And if you want to buy any of those through the end of the year, there's a coupon code THANKS18 to save 50% on everything you buy over at inspireddisorder.com. I'm at Ray Taylor on all social media. Have a great day, everybody. Peace out!